This story is about an architect whose house one day two beautiful girls enter on the pretext of help, and then by provoking him become intimate with him, after which they blackmail him and create some such embarrassed music moments in his life. Evan is by profession an architect, and he lived happily with his wife Karen and two kids. His wife Karen also worked in an art gallery. Evan and Karen had made a plan to go on a beach trip with their kids. But because Evan got some urgent work, he could not go with them. So Karen took both kids and left for the beach trip for a week, and Evan stayed at home with his dog. Now that same night, when Evan was working in his house, outside it was raining very heavily. Just then, his doorbell rings. When Evan goes to open the door, two girls were standing there, one named Belle and the other named Genesis. Both were completely drenched in the rain. Then they tell Evan that we were searching for an address to go to a party, but due to heavy rain, we got lost, and because of getting wet, our phones also got damaged. So Evan, to help them, lets them come into his house and gives them some towels and an iPad so they can find that address. But after searching the address in the iPad, Genesis says that they had come very far away from that place, and the taxi driver brought them to a wrong location. So Evan books a cab for them, which was going to reach there in 45 minutes. Both the girls had gotten very wet, so they ask Evan to dry their clothes in the dryer. Then Belle and Genesis use Evan's washroom and afterwards come to him where Evan was making tea for them. After that, all of them come to the living room and start talking. There, Belle and Genesis repeatedly try to come close to Evan, because of which Evan gets irritated and goes to sit on another chair and checks his phone, where only 20 minutes were left for the cab to arrive. Then Evan asks them, "What work do you girls do?" On this, they say, "We both are air hostesses." During this, Belle and Genesis continuously try to provoke Evan, due to which Evan again separates from them and sits on another chair. Actually, Evan was married. That's why even on repeated seducing attempts by Belle and Genesis, he was keeping distance. But Belle and Genesis start telling Evan about their lifestyle and stories of traveling to different countries and try to persuade Evan to become intimate with them. During this, Evan again checks his phone and sees that now the cab is only 5 minutes away. Just then, Genesis, on the excuse of using the washroom, gets up and leaves, and Belle again tries to seduce Evan. Just then, Evan gets a call from the cab driver because the cab had arrived outside his house. So Belle goes towards the washroom to call Genesis, and Evan goes to get their clothes. But when Belle and Genesis do not come out of the washroom for a long time, he takes their clothes and goes towards the bathroom. He knocks on the door, but both were not coming out. So Evan covers his eyes with his hand and goes inside. When Evan enters inside, we see that Belle and Genesis were completely without clothes, and as soon as Evan enters, they start forcing him to come towards them. This time, Evan loses his control and in the bathroom becomes intimate with them, and then in the bedroom also becomes intimate. And in this way, the whole night passes and morning arrives. When Evan wakes up, he does not see Belle and Genesis anywhere, so he feels they probably left. But then he hears their laughing voices from the kitchen. When Evan goes there, he sees they have made a very big mess in his kitchen. Seeing all this, Evan tells them to leave his house. Just then, a video call from Evan's wife comes, so he goes outside to talk on the phone. After talking, he comes inside and tells both of them to wear their clothes and leave the house. But instead of going, Belle and Genesis start damaging his wife's artwork. Irritated, Evan threatens them that he will call the police and send them to jail. But Belle tells Evan, "We are both underage, and you have become intimate with us, so the police will arrest you in a rape case." Just then, the doorbell rings. It's a friend of Evan's wife. Evan tells both girls not to come outside and goes to open the door. While Evan is talking, Genesis comes and sticks to him, because of which his wife's friend scolds Evan badly and leaves. After this, Evan goes inside and scolds both the girls a lot and this time actually calls the police. Hearing this, Belle and Genesis get scared and agree to leave his house. Evan somehow puts them in his car and drops them outside a house and comes back. He starts cleaning the whole house because Belle and Genesis had made the house extremely dirty. After that, at night, when Evan is working, he suddenly hears the sound of glass breaking. When he goes to see, he finds his family photo fallen. As he bends down to pick it up, Genesis attacks him from behind, making him unconscious. When Evan regains consciousness, he finds himself tied with rope on a bed. He shouts at Genesis to untie him. Just then, Belle comes wearing Evan's daughter's school dress. After that, both come near Evan and start taking off his clothes. But just then, Evan's wife video calls again. Genesis tells Evan to get intimate with Belle. When Evan refuses, Genesis says she will tell his wife on the video call that he is having fun with them. So Evan agrees to become intimate with Belle. Then Belle climbs on Evan and starts being intimate while making shameless sounds, and Genesis is recording everything. During this, Genesis goes to the kitchen to get something to eat. Evan, while being intimate, uses full force and manages to open the rope, then pushes Belle off the bed. He then goes towards Genesis and tries to attack her, but Genesis attacks Evan again, making him unconscious. Then both again tie Evan and start behaving like psychos and torture him by putting headphones on him with loud music. After some time, Evan's wife's assistant Lewis arrives and rings the doorbell. When he comes inside, he does not find Evan anywhere because the girls had locked him in a room. They tell Louis that they are Evan's nieces. But Lewis hears a sound from a room. As he goes there, both girls steal his inhaler from his pocket. Lewis enters the room and finds Evan tied up. Louis gets scared and tries to help him and is opening his ropes. Meanwhile, the girls start breaking Karen's artwork. Lewis goes to stop them, but Evan tells Lewis not to go. They are dangerous. But Louis still tries to stop them. They do not listen and keep breaking the art. Louis starts having breathing difficulty because he had asthma. He tries to take his inhaler, but it is not in his pocket because they already stole it. Now the girls start throwing Lewis's inhaler to each other while Lewis tries to get it. During this, Louis slips, his head hits a rock, and he dies on the spot. Seeing this, both girls start laughing. Seeing all this, Evan understands they are completely psycho. The girls cover Louis's body with paper and paint over it to make it look like a sculpture and dispose of the body. Then, using Evan's phone, they send a message to Lewis's phone, so later people think Lewis and Karen were having an affair, and Evan killed Lewis out of revenge. Meanwhile, Evan tries to message his wife using his foot and the iPad, but he gets caught. The girls throw the iPad outside and break it. Then they destroy everything in the house. They dig a hole in the garden. When Evan shouts for help, they point a gun at him. Evan gets scared and gives up. Next day, they tie Evan and bury him in the hole, leaving only his head outside. They tell him they are psychos, they enjoy doing this, and they have done this to many people, and their victims are only married men. Then they take out Evan's phone and show him the video in which Belle, wearing Evan's daughter's school dress, is being intimate with him. After that, they write "Happy Father's Day" as the title on the video, so people will think Evan is intimate with his own daughter. Leaving the phone there, the girls leave. Evan somehow pulls his hand out and tries to delete the video, but by mistake, instead of deleting it, the video gets liked. After some time, Evan's wife and kids return home and see the house completely messed up. Karen doesn't understand what happened and thinks Evan must have had fun with his friends after they left. And with this, the movie ends. So friends, how did you like the story? Comment and tell us, and like the video and subscribe to the channel.